Hi, I'm Judy Sims, founder of the Expansive Woman Project. Today, we're going to talk about our goals and how we can achieve them using a tool called the Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Life has been around for a couple thousand years, and it began as a concept in Buddhism called the Bhava Chakra, and it looks something like this. Now, I honestly have no idea what's going on in this picture, but I do know that Bhava means being, becoming, and rebirth, and chakra derives from the word meaning wheel, cycle, or circle. The writer Barbara Kingsolver once said that every one of us is called upon, probably many times, to start a new life. And I love this quote so much because it's true and because so much of my work is helping clients to renew themselves. The original Wheel of Life was essentially a spiritual text, but over time the concept has been adapted to be used as a tool to help us balance our lives. Here's what the modern Wheel of Life looks like. It's not quite as dramatic, but I'd like to think it's infinitely more practical in today's world. So when using the tool, the first thing we need to do is determine which zones you'd like to include. So here are some common ones, things like family, primary relationship, healthy, happy kids, friends, finances, community, contribution, celebration, healthy vitality, home, personal development and growth, emotion and meaning, spirituality and creativity, career, and time management. So you want to choose 8 life zones that you want to focus on for the next 6 to 18 months. And they can be whatever you want. They do not have to be on this list. You can just make up your own. Just be sure that they resonate with you as areas you'd really like to work on. They must feel important to you. From here, you're going to label your wheel segments with your chosen life zones. And next, you're going to rate your current level of satisfaction in each of the zones from 1 to 10. So you might have some really low scores, and maybe you'll have some in the middle, or maybe there will be a couple of areas where you're excelling, but sometimes you have a whole bunch that are below 5. And all of this is okay, and it's all normal. And it changes throughout our lives, and what is important to us changes, but also our standards change. So if you're scoring 8 and above on everything, I want you to reevaluate your standards. Think bigger, think expansive. Is there more you could be doing? Next, you color the wheel in, and it'll look something like this. And now you have a visual representation where you can easily see what's working and what's not working in your life. Now for each of the areas, write 2 to 3 bullet points about why you gave it that rating. And you want to be as honest as you can here, even if it means you're going to confront some uncomfortable realities about your life. That's what this is all about. It's about helping you grow and stretch and expand. Next is the fun part. Choose a time frame, say 6, 12, or 18 months, and then imagine what you'd like your life to look like by the end of that time frame. So what would a 10 look like? Now, keep the time frame in mind. What would a 10 look like given the amount of time you have to get there, and be realistic because we don't want to set you up for failure. When you're doing this, you should feel a deep connection to the 10 scenario and a really, really strong desire to get there. So definitely dream big, but be able to identify specific steps that will get you to the 10 scenario. No miracles are allowed here. Next, you'll prioritize the 2 to 4 zones that you'll be working on first. Now, you can't do them all at once. You do have to prioritize. And you may be tempted to take all the lowest scoring zones and try to get them to a 10. And my advice is to not do that out of the gate. I advise you to include at least one medium scoring zone. So something that's maybe a 5 or a 6. If you can take that 5 or a 6 to a 10 in a reasonably short period of time, it'll give you a sense of accomplishment that will fuel your success in the more challenging zones to come. So let's say in our case, we choose to work on our finances, our career, and getting some healthy vitality back into our lives. From here, you want to set some goals. And 1 or 2 should be sufficient for each of the life areas. Remember, you do have a limited amount of time that you're doing this in, and you can always come back around later and set bigger and more ambitious goals. The goals should be fairly encompassing, so you can break them down into smaller chunks later. And they should also be a little scary. I mean, what's the point otherwise? You do want to stretch yourself. Remember that we're expanding and not contracting. So in this case, the goal is to create a financial plan so that we can retire at 60. Under health, we want to try to be vegan before 5. We want to run a half marathon. And for career, we want to build a world-class team, very ambitious, and launch a product X by the 3rd quarter. Now, for each goal, it's really important that you be able to come up with a big, juicy why. And this is because this is what will fuel you during the next 6 to 18 months as you're seeking to achieve these goals. So think about, why would you want to retire at 60? Well, to have amazing experiences and a secure retirement. Or why would you try the vegan before 5 plan, which, by the way, is when you be a vegan until 5 p.m. and then you eat whatever you want afterwards. And why would you want to run a half marathon? Well, so you can be happy, healthy, mobile, and alert well into old age. And why would you want to build a world-class team and launch great products? Well, so that you can have a harmonious, creative, dynamic work environment leading to not just products, but world-changing products. So you can see how these statements kind of give you a little bit more of a push to get that goal, that life zone, up to a higher level. All right, so from here, you want to evaluate the goals. And you want to be sure that they make sense to you. Is the outcome worth it? And it wouldn't hurt to check it this time for any signs of perfectionism and imposter syndrome, because you want to know that these goals are really yours and not someone else's idea of what you should be doing. And a good way to do that is to share your goals with the important people in your life who you trust. And when you're telling them about your goals, notice in yourself, are you excited? Are you scared? Or maybe are you feeling a little ho-hum about them? And if need be, go back at those goals and revise. We want your eyes to light up when you're talking about them. So if all goes well and you've chosen your goals and your big whys and you've evaluated correctly, you will be achieving your goals. You will be achieving things within each of your life zones. So let's say in our case, we get our finances from a 5 all the way up to a 9. Once you're there, you're ready to choose a new life zone to set goals for. So in this case, we've chosen time management, which is our lowest scoring life zone. And we can do that now because we have the momentum coming off the success we've had with our finances. Next, you want to create a professional life wheel. And it looks something like this. And this is where you plan your career in greater detail. And it's important to do this because we want to keep your life in balance. What can sometimes happen is our career's going really well, but our life at home falls apart, or the other way around. Things at home are great, but work not so great. We want to be sure we balance both sides. We want you happy and fulfilled in all areas of your life. So you want to be sure that your zones in your professional life wheel are aligned with your company and personal objectives at work, as well as new things you'd like to do professionally in your career by yourself. So for example, your life wheel for work might include looking for a new job. You also want to consider, when you're developing your goals for your professional life, that you make them SMART goals. So if you work in a medium to large size organization, you probably know all about SMART goals, but as a reminder, you want to make your goals specific. So they should be clear and concise and not vague. They should be measurable, so some sort of number that you can apply to that goal. So be it revenue or cost savings or customer satisfaction ratings, whatever it is, as long as there's a number that you can attach to it. The goal should be achievable. So, going from $100,000 to $1 billion in 1 year may not be achievable, even if you're Elon Musk. And you don't want to do this because if a goal is unrealistic, you're setting yourself up for failure. Your goal should be relevant, so it has to contribute to achieving either your personal goal or mission or your company's goal or mission. So you want to make sure that you're in alignment on one side or the other. And finally, your goal should be timely. You need to set a date by which you'll accomplish your goal. Now remember, only your professional work-related goals need to be SMART. Your personal goals can be a little bit looser. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. You can learn more about me and the Expansive Woman Project at theexpansivewoman.com. I'm Judy Sims. Until next time.